Gentlemen, we're going to start our county board meeting because it's 10 o'clock or thereabouts. And it is a tradition of the St. Louis County Board to take just a moment of silence to honor those men and women who serve and protect this great nation. Also to remember those people that are adversely affected by war and violence, both here and abroad. We will follow that with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With that, I'm going to turn to Clerk Chapman to please take the roll.
Commissioner Harlow. Here. Commissioner Boyle. Here. Commissioner Grimm. Commissioner McDonald. Here. Commissioner Musa. Present. Commissioner Yugovich. Present. And Sheriff Commissioner Nelson.
Here. Commissioner Yugovich, we are in your fair city here. I understand that the mayor may have a few comments he would like to make, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and welcome to the center of the universe. We have Mayor Adam Lance here, would like to give us a welcome. Always good to see you. He's doing a good job for us, and we appreciate all the time and effort you put in. I want to say this, Mr. Chair, and to the board. Our volunteerism and our people that are stepping up are off the charts. We've got so many people that are working ambulance, working fire. It's great to see a small community, so many people step up and say, I want to be part of the solution. So, and he's right there driving that.
Very good. Sounds like an awfully proud former mayor too, doesn't it?
As he should be. Thank you very much for the kind words, Mr. Chair, esteemed board. Welcome back to Chisholm. It's been a couple of years since you've been here. I just want to take a quick second to thank you for your prompt response to the damage and the flooding and the torrential disaster that happened last Tuesday. Being the leaders of the county, giving everyone else, the cities and townships, something to follow. We appreciate that very much, and it is noticed and appreciated. So thank you very much for that. It's kind of a thankless job now and again. So I do want to point out that our fire department, police department, public works were active on Tuesday. Not every community's volunteers do that, but we went to at least 14 homes, helped pump out damage, pump out sewage, pump out water that was coming in. Our neighbors to the north definitely had a lot more damage than we had, but we don't want to take away from anyone's property, anyone's personal tragedy. So it's definitely noted. So we appreciate what you did with the disaster relief. We're going to follow that along, and if there's anything that we can help with residents privately, definitely we're going to be active in searching that out. So again, welcome to Chisholm. For those of you that haven't been back since last time you were here 2 years ago, you're going to see there's a lot of activity going on your way out of town. I'd appreciate it if you would stop up at the splash pad that we just had the ribbon cutting that Commissioner Jugovich definitely helped get across the finish line with a $15,000 donation. So in pushing that through, as you leave, you'll cross our Public Works building that is set to open for an open house on July 2nd. Appreciate anyone that wants to come out and check that out, 3 to 6. Again, I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Representative Lizagard for helping us cross that finish line. We had a lot of support state and federally, but Representative Lizagard, thank you very much. He definitely helped push that through. It's going to be a great building. Roger, when you said you're an old timer here, I heard from an old timer that when you come into a community and you see a crane in the air, that means the community's doing well. And we have a lot of that going on in Chisholm right now. We're very active. Also, when you pass out of town, if you drive by our high school, check that out, because if you don't come back for 2 more years, that's going to look completely different. Another project that was voted through referendum by our citizens. We didn't know if we were going to get any state, federal, or local help, but the citizens here said that we still want to do it. We want to make sure we have a school here for our kids, and we want to keep our community growing. And like the volunteers of today and yesterday, and that are going to continue on, is those volunteers in that community investment that is going to keep Chisholm growing and make it the best place to be. So welcome again to the center of the universe, and I appreciate all that you do for us. Thank you.
It's science.
Thank you, Mayor Lance. Commissioner Yugovich, anything further?
No, you summed it up very well.
Very well.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. We're going to move on to something else here, and I got to tell you that I've been around government now for 21 plus years, and there's one thing that we don't do nearly enough of, okay? But I'm going to turn to Commissioner McDonald to lead this off, and then I'll have some remarks as well. Commissioner McDonald.
Thank you, Chair Nelson. As most of you are aware, that we went through a significant challenge with the Tyler versus Hennepin Supreme Court case and decision that ruled the Minnesota law unconstitutional. And under the esteemed leadership of our Environment and Natural Resources Committee, Chair Jugovich, who always has his ear to the ground on any issues dealing with natural resources and environment, we came to the conclusion that we needed to be a leader in the fix. And you know, you look at our Land and Minerals Department, which is the gold standard in the state of Minnesota and throughout the country. And that is led by a graduate of the Center of the Universe, Julie Marinucci, Chisholm graduate, and she does an outstanding job. And she was a leader in working with the Association of Minnesota Counties and the state legislature as the expert. And I always say this, she spoke very eloquently, very forcefully at times, that people said, geez, you must be a lawyer. You must be an attorney. And just the fact that she was always there and always available to anyone who needed it, whether it was AMC, Hennepin County, state legislature, citizens, whatever it happened to be, she was there. And her expertise helped us get this over the finish line. Also from St. Louis County, from the attorney's office, we had Nick Campanario and Nate Lecoussier, who did some amazing things, not only in front of people, but behind the scenes as we worked to get the settlement piece of this done with tremendous help from the Attorney General. So, you know, a lot of pieces that St. Louis County had involved, from Commissioner Jugovich to Director Marinucci to the Attorney's Office. I mean, we were one of the lead figures in this whole scenario. And I couldn't be more proud of the work that our team had accomplished, or has accomplished, as we got this thing over the finish line. Which leads me to the next piece, which is the state legislature and our legislators. Because without Senator Hochschild, Representative Liz Agard, Ways and Means Chair Liz Olson, I mean, we put ourselves in a position where we can succeed. And having Senator Hochschild as the 34th vote never hurts. So as we got this through, there was some, I felt like we were at Valley Fair. Some days we were at the top of the Wild Thing, and then we were down to the bottom at the Wild Thing. But I was proud of their steadfastness as we worked towards a resolution. And then the budget forecast came out, and there happened to be a little bit extra money. And these two, along with others, we got about 25%, give or take, for the settlement. And without those tax committee members, one on the Senate, one on the House side, I think when it was brought to the floors to have a unanimous vote in both the House and the Senate, tells you that this was a statewide issue, important to each and every citizen, important to each and every county, city, township, school district, and it was important to every single legislator. And that made us feel good. Got to the end, it was a little bumpy, but we made it through. And thank you to our legislators, and I know they will speak on that. And before I go any further, I also have to give kudos to both Representative Lesengard and Representative Olson, who are stepping away from the people's work. And we're going to miss them terribly up in northeastern Minnesota, because the advocacy, the work ethic, and the wanting to listen to elected officials, constituents, is something that is becoming a little bit of a lost art in St. Paul. And I know that I will miss Representative Lesengard because of our friendship, but also of our working together. And somebody needs to step up and fill those shoes, and somebody will. But I want to personally, on behalf of myself and the St. Louis County Board, want to thank you for everything that you've done in your tenure and before. As a city councilor in Aurora, as a mayor of Aurora, I mean, you were always willing to engage at the table and come to an agreement, whether it was wonderful for you or it was, you were the art of compromise. And we got things accomplished. And Representative Liz Olson was a stalwart for St. Louis County and the city of Duluth. And people that know government know when you're the Ways and Means chair, you've got some clout. And we're going to miss that clout as well. So thank you to Representative Lesengard, Representative Olson, for all your work. And we look forward to continuing our work with Senator Hochschild and others as we move forward in that. So that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner McDonald. When you send 3 Chisholmites to the state legislature, which we did, good things are going to happen. You just know that. But Commissioner Yukovich, I'll let you weigh in, and then I'm going to weigh in a little bit more.
I just, again, Commissioner McDonald, so humble. We don't get this over the finish line, intergovernmental chair, spending so much time down there. And we had a great group of people working together towards that common goal and made it happen. But on our end, our team is not the same without Commissioner McDonald, because he was relentless in his efforts to get this across the finish line. So as humble as he is, he deserves all the recognition in the world. It's one of those things where he's not looking for it, but man, he should get some love. Right here in Chisholm.
All right, thank you for that, because you took that burden off of me. That's where I was headed. First of all, we knew we had a real problem, and that real problem was the Tyler case. And quite frankly, had we had an opportunity to weigh in much earlier, probably wouldn't have gotten to the point that it did. But we turned to our folks down at the state legislature, and Liz, David, and Grant. I can't say enough. I know the work that you all did down there. I know how hard you dug in. And unanimous votes don't just happen at the state legislature. That is not something that just happens. And that tells me, one, the level of respect that you all had down there, and 2, the amount of work and effort that you put in, along with Commissioner McDonald, Yukovich, and I would be remiss if I did not include our land commissioner, because Julie, Kevin, how right was I on wanting to hire Julie for that position? I'll just stop with that. I'm not going to go any further. But I like being right, and really. But one of the things we fail to do in government so often is we fail to take the time to appreciate what we've gotten done and the people that helped us get there. And we act like we can't say that because we might forget someone. I know there's people that helped along the way that we need to acknowledge as well, but we're not forgetting anyone. We said we had a unanimous vote, both the Senate and the House. The governor signed the bill. We know the advocacy and the help that we had down there. But I wanted to make sure that we brought 2 representatives and 1 senator here because I witnessed firsthand the leadership that they brought for this area at the state legislature. And now I'm going to give them a few minutes to come up and at least accept this thank you and anything else that you got for us here today in Chisholm, Minnesota. So please, David, Grant, come on up. Phil times everybody at 3 minutes, but not you guys.
Well, thank you, commissioners. I know Chisholm is the center of the universe because I've been here more than my own district this year already, and I love this place, so thanks for having me back. I do just want to quickly talk about the flooding, and I want to just say that you know, my thanks to you commissioners who have stepped up in this moment. Commissioner Jugovich, Commissioner McDonald, Commissioner Nelson, just been on the phone constantly, working with you guys about the response, visiting Cook, visiting Biwabik, and I know that Hibbing was impacted a lot too. So just grateful for your leadership. I want you guys to know that I have called, and I know that Representative Lissegard joins me in a call for a special session to address the contingency account so that we can refill that to make sure it can fund St. Louis County, but also we're seeing tremendous flooding in southern Minnesota. And so we've got to make sure that we're addressing this statewide, and we have to get bonding done. So getting a special session so we can do those 2 important things, that's basic stuff. I mean, livelihood and infrastructure, it should be bipartisan. We should have the votes. Unfortunately, I don't think we do. So contact your legislators and make sure they know that. The process this year in the legislature was a little crazy. And I don't wish that we go back to sort of the partisanship that happened, but the truth is the results are in the pudding for what was able to happen this year. And I think at the very top of the list is the Tyler versus Hennepin case. And I do really, really want to thank St. Louis County for leading on this. It is the truth. You guys should all know that St. Louis County was the actual leader. They're not just saying that Julie, Commissioner McDonald, literally led this for the entire state. The county led on this for the entire state. And I am so grateful to Julie for the constant communication, the advocacy, understanding this issue more than any other human in this state. I mean that. There is no one else that you could call to get an understanding of how complicated and legal this issue was. And she understood it both from a statewide perspective, but most importantly to us, she understood it for northern Minnesota and for St. Louis County and how critical it was that we got it right. And Commissioner McDonald as well, being down there at the Capitol, felt like he was a legislator. He was down there every frickin' day making sure that we were working on this issue. And so I just applaud the tremendous leadership from this county, because it's going to benefit not just St. Louis County, it's going to benefit Lake and Cook and Cooch and Itasca and Hennepin and all of these other counties, because you all stepped up and took the brunt and the load of advocacy, and that meant a lot, and it made our job carrying the legislation, pushing for it all that much easier, because we could say, look, I've got these guys just hammering us on this, we've got to get this done. And Commissioner McDonald and Representative Lissegard will remember a couple of calls that we had early on before the session started, and I was very blunt. And I said, Commissioner McDonald, we're not going to get the money. Remember that? I was like, don't hold your breath here. There's not going to be $120 million or whatever it ended up being for this. But at the end of the day, the advocacy and how determined we were really mattered. And I will just say, from a process standpoint, I don't want to get too much into the weeds, but it felt like we were kind of, to your point about the roller coaster, we were kind of riding high for a while. Once we knew the money was there, once we knew the surplus was there, we felt pretty good, we knew it was going to happen, and then the final days, all of a sudden, a bunch of legislators got really interested in this topic. And there's nothing more frustrating than working on an issue for months and months and months and having folks come to the table at the very end and say, oh, I've got questions about this, or I want to change this or that. And so again, to Julie and Commissioner McDonald and other leaders, to get on the phone with Representative Listlegard and I at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., the final day of session, to make some changes to this legislation, to get those unanimous votes we needed that Commissioner Nelson talked about. That is where the real work is. It's those 3 a.m. phone calls where we are drafting legislation literally over the phone, getting the job done, getting it to the floor, rushing it through, and getting it done so that the property owners in this district aren't facing a tremendous challenge. So with that, a team effort, incredible. We know how to do this. Now what's the next issue? What are we going to work on and deliver statewide for the rest of the state? Because St. Louis County knows how to do it. And just so grateful for all of your guys' work and happy to partner in the future. I'm going to miss this guy. It's going to be really hard to do things like we did this last year without him. He's been a tremendous leader for the Iron Range, for the core Iron Range, where we are here in the center of the universe. I got a little choked up the other day talking about it. I'm not going to right now because we're in an official capacity here, but it's going to be really hard to do my job without a partner like him, and I'm going to need to find others. He's still going to be around. You guys are still going to be around, but just know that I'm here for you regardless if Chisholm or Hibbing are in my district. I'm going to be for the range and going to help you guys. So thanks so much for the opportunity. And I do have to run. I apologize. I have another meeting, but I'm going to let this
You never
this
want
guy
to
go,
listen
so.
to me.
All right. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Senator,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
I
Appreciate
knew
it.
you had a duck.
Yes.
Oh.
Thank you.
Drive safe.
Yep.
The senator that just walked out, I've been around for a very, very long time, and in and out of that process, and I can tell you that we are so blessed and fortunate to have him representing us down in St. Paul. If you guys look at the map is showing that we, as a region, we are becoming one-dimensional. The demographics are showing that the 7-county metro is growing and we're not. And that means the voice of the majority is down there. And, I'm stepping away, obviously. I love the game, I love the process. And if anybody says it's not a game, that's not true. It is a game. You have people that are working against you when you're trying to accomplish something. And I'm stepping away for the right reasons. When I ran, it's, family first. Range first, family first. And at this time in my life, I need to focus on my family. And that's what I'm going to do. But I'll be involved. When you go down there, it's not what everybody thinks. It's not what you see on your phone, right? It's to be effective, you have to connect the dots, to connect the people, to tell the story, to influence outcomes. It's a very complex system. There's 201 legislators that have the same amount of power that you do. Yes, you have the cookie cutter politicians that just push whatever they want. Their caucus or their party tells them to push. Those people are irrelevant. There's a small group of individuals that can see the end, see what needs to be done. And Senator Hochschild is one of them. Senator Hochschild is one of them. And we have others. But it truly is an honor. I got to, getting back to this Henneman thing, I got to tell you, my wife and I were flying somewhere. Speaker Hortman wisely saw this coming, calls me. I'm the chair of property taxes, and so she calls me into her office. She has me bring my committee administrator and sits me down and in her office and says, I'm going to need you to draft a bill, Hennepin versus Tyler Supreme Court case. And I'm like, okay, don't know a whole lot about it. And so we drafted the thing. Speaker Horton wanted to get ahead of it, right? She wanted to get ahead of this because she saw something. She saw this issue starting to build momentum, and she wanted Representative Listlegard, who represents northern Minnesota and St. Louis County, to make sure that they had a seat at the table. And as somebody that led that effort, and your name is at the top of that. See, anybody can sign on to a bill. It's the chief author
that has to navigate through and get it over the finish line, right? And I remember I landed, Lisa and I were going somewhere, and I landed, and I get this phone message from Julie Bernucci, and she's just like really worked up, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I just said, well, I need to dig into it, right? And then so I called Commissioner Nelson, and I says, hey, Julie's really worked up right now, and I said, I got to learn more about this. And that passion, people don't care what you know until they know you care. Julie cared. She cared for what she was doing. And me and Grant, working with our colleagues, some did not want to do what we were doing, right? But I remember we were in the back room working with them on amendments that they wanted to offer to this. And we're like, you know, where's Julie? Phone a friend, phone a friend. We literally had Julie, as they're trying to do amendments, on the speakerphone talking to these other senators and legislators. And it was Julie's pragmatic, reasonable, thoughtful detail that helped us get it over the finish line. She helped them see what had to be done. And that is St. Louis County leading the way. Commissioner McDonald, he is the godfather, no doubt. Down there, his ability to navigate through legislators is important, right? You have a kindness, you have a smile, you don't get worked up. You know, when people get excited, you just kind of have that calm. You guys, you know, there's lots to tell you, but I had dinner with Commissioner McDonald one night. And how does legislation happen? By people talking and it being creative. And we had dinner one night, and we were like, housing is an issue. We have a lot of communities that don't have the resources, they don't have the staff to navigate through that complex system to find different grants in both state, federal, and local. And how can we do that to help them? We had that dinner the next day. $1 million was passed and given to another gentleman from the center of the universe, Serge, Tony, for the Northland Foundation. And that $1 million is to hire somebody to help these small communities that don't have the ability, they don't have the resources, they don't have the knowledge to be able to go through that complex system to be able to deliver. But it's those types of conversations, those types of dialogues, I'm telling you, either you're at the table or you're on the menu. It's fact, people. The numbers are not in our favor. You need to realize that. And Senator Hochschild will be extremely important in years to come. And if you think I'm kidding, just sit down and I will tell you, the math is the math, people. You gotta have people that have the ability to do that, to navigate, to bring people together, to find a compromise, to get things over the finish line. We have too many activists. You can be an advocate for anything. I'm an advocate. But when you become an activist and you're a legislator, you don't have the ability to compromise. You're all or nothing. We are so polarized in this country, this state. It's getting farther and farther apart. We have to have people like Senator Hochschild. I'm sorry that I'm leaving. It's in me to win for the range. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to be back in some way, shape, or form, but I am going to step away. It is sad. But you guys are going to be in good hands. And this county board right here, you, Chair, you are a pit bull. There's no question. No, there's no question about it. Your determination, your work ethic is second to none. Second to none. You know, people might get upset and, you know, Keith did this, Keith did that, but at the end of the day, if I had to go to battle, if I had to go to war, I'd want you on my team. I'd go to battle with you, Keith, because you're the real deal. So it's been truly my honor. I'm going to continue to fight, continue to navigate, but I can't stress enough, as I look at the map, Democrat, Republican, pragmatic, not pragmatic, Trump, Biden, set all that aside. We need representation on both sides of the aisle, and you have to have leadership like Senator Hochschild. And I can't stress that enough. So it's truly been an honor. Thank you guys all so much. Commissioner, you are in the center of the universe. I thought I would have saw your name there, a little plaque there that says Jukovic. But thank you for everything you guys have all done. Seriously, thank you.
And again, we don't do nearly enough recognizing and thanking the people that have put in the time, put in the effort, shown the energy, and this entire board helped drive Tyler across. Commissioner McDonald, again, as I said to you earlier, Kevin, how smart am I when I put him on intergovernmental? You know, that was, I didn't need to know. How smart am I to have Commissioner Jukovic on United Minerals? I knew that if I got the trifecta from Chisholm together somehow, okay, there's a synergy there that we can make things happen. And couldn't have been a better timing and a better year, even though there was a lot of apprehension around Tyler. Look, we came out of Tyler better than I thought we ever would. And that is every taxpayer in St. Louis County, and for that matter in northeastern Minnesota, should absolutely recognize and appreciate the fact that this could have been a true disaster for us. And at the end of the day, with the leadership of our attorney's office as well, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. What we came out of it with was something very doable, something very livable, and truly a path forward. And that's where that compromise piece comes in. But that path forward did not seem to be there at the beginning of this year. With that, folks, we're going to take a 2-minute break. And we're going to come back and recognize some folks from the center of the universe. Thank you all for your patience today. This is, some of the stuff has been kind of building up to get done, and things we needed to do. Commissioner Jukovic.
It was a must.
Thank you. Nothing I like better than interrupting people talking outside, but come on in, let's get rolling here. I don't want to hear any other details.
No, you don't.
Trying to give you an out here, okay? With that, Commissioner Jukovic, I put this challenge out there early on in the year, and I want to thank those commissioners that have been part of it. And here we are in Chisholm, Minnesota, and the volunteer capital of the Iron Range, I believe. Commissioner Jukovic.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate it. I wanted to recognize the Chisholm CBA, Beautification Association. And this group has been around for a number of years, but they do great projects. Obviously, the Bruce Mine head frame, wonderful, wonderful project. But the ones I'm most proud of are the families who may be a little disadvantaged or just need a little bit of help, and they paint their houses, and they take care of things in the yard, and they do the things that good neighbors do. They volunteer, they take care of their neighbors. So with all, and there have been a number of great projects, I don't want to downplay anything, but what really made me proud was knowing that this group is out there saying, we're going to take care of our neighbors, we're going to clean up our city, and we're going to beautify our city. So that's what the CBA means to me. And there are so many members that have come and gone, unfortunately past, members that have been so strategic in getting things done with grants and you name it. But we have two of the best right here today. Ed and Roger, would you like to come up and be recognized, have some words? Roger, I know you're a man of few words.
Edward, please join him.
These gentlemen,
At the podium, yeah.
Podium?
At the podium if you'd like.
Oh, sure. You got an hour to spend?
No, no, that we don't have.
we should get you two together.
Julie's got first, she's not gonna get.
Commissioner Yudovich.
Again, just if you have a few words to say, I understand, again, your latest and greatest is a Bruce Mine head frame, but maybe just a little bit about other things that the CBA has done over the years.
Yeah. CBA started about 20 years ago. And Carol Gornick, she was come from California with just like a beautification. But now you look at it, it's all over the country, getting more and more. Each town it's getting more. And we painted, what, about 12, 13 houses? Things like that. We did, in the city of Chisholm, we did all our fire hydrants, so you can see them. Projects like that. And then the head frame, I drive by there every day, and somebody told me they were going to tear it down. And that's when I got going on that one. So it was 11 years we finished on that one. And I'd rather see that. It's the last head frame on the range. So that's why then we took a trip up there to Sedan, look at theirs, and stuff like that. Then we got money from LCCMR. And David Thomasoni helped us. And me and Carol Gornick took care of the money. And I brought all the prints to him, and we had it all estimated the price, what we were going to spend out there. We had a meeting with the city a couple times, and the city told us what they want, and we went by that. And then I brought the prints to David, 2 sets of prints, that from Hibbing, and that's where he was for getting the money. And then one time before we started getting the money, we had to build a road in there, and we had a gas line in there, so we had little problems there. We made highway department, we had quite a few times to change the road in there, but AAR gave us $99,000. They couldn't give you automatic 100,000, so, and they were good to us. So that's where it started out. So we got it going. We had a lot of meetings with Joe Austin. Joe, we had a lot of meetings with him. He was good to come up visit.
Mine inspector.
Yeah, mining inspector. And went to the county, and like Roger said, bulk, and we tried to get the land thing. Took a long time. But that's basic, about 20 years now.
But you've had a number of projects.
Oh yeah, we had lots of projects.
So many things you've done over the years, and you could never name every one of your volunteers, but there has been a core group that every time you see a project, you'd see that group, and everyone would get in and help, but these two were always right in the thick of things. I remember painting fire hydrants. Every dog in Chisholm was in delight. Fresh fire hydrant. But things like that.
And the food was always donated from Hibbing, Chisholm, for dinner, for we had people, feed the people. We had a committee to take care of that, so that was really nice. They didn't have to go home, and they stayed. We tried to keep them all day painting.
Well, we want to thank you guys.
Yeah.
And I'd like to get a picture with you if we could. What do you think? You're not going to break any cameras on me, are you, Ed?
I used to work with this guy.
All right. Ed's the one that taught me how important Chisholm was. When I started working in 1976 with Ed, he told me how important Chisholm was, and it still is.
One more comment, Mr. Chair.
One more comment, I'm sorry.
Our problem is that people say we shouldn't be going on ladders anymore because of our age. So we're looking for some younger people to come alongside to fill that gap, and we're trying to recruit them. One thing I'd like to mention, though, as far as this copper nickel stuff, I mean, I'm sold on this. Maybe you understand, I'm a mining engineer profession, but years ago, another colleague of mine and Dr. Graham from Ely went up to Shaband in Canada and looked at that property. It's a copper nickel property. It's a mine. It's on a beautiful lake like Vermilion. They have an air shaft on one of the islands. You never see that. You don't see anything but the head frame, which is reinforced concrete and dirt. And they said, well, what would you do? I said, I'd paint some flying ducks on that. That's my environmental group, you know, thing. But they designed it so that they ran a conveyor off to the side and had a plant over there. You don't know anything, but the guys are working down 2,000 feet below it. It can be done. I mean, that's what engineers are for, you know, and it's not without fault. Nobody can guarantee 100%, but we have people that have skill and people that have been trained. We give them a chance.
Mr. Chair, when Mr. Johnson mentions young guys, is he looking at 75 to 80?
Right.
That's right.
Roger, you're amazing. He's my neighbor. I go across the street and said, let me help you clean your gutters. He looked at me like I was crazy. What do I need your help for?
I got these gutters now.
Pretty good shape.
95.
95.
All right, let's get a picture.
Oh, yeah.
But there's one guy that said something years ago.
I'm gonna stay up
And he
here this time.
said, if you know you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. That was Jesus the Christ, and that's true.
Gentlemen, if you'd come up forward with Commissioner Jugovich, and
Then we'll get a whole group picture next.
he'll be accepting. You want to go?
Yeah,
It's okay, it's okay.
Okay, got it, thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations, Raj. Always good to see you. I'll see you across the street.
Yeah.
And then we'll get if you would, we'll get a group photo with
Get everybody.
Yep.
You see everyone?
Let's see, Nelson, oh, no, I got it. All right, here we go. Okay, got it, thank you.
Thank you. I like to talk to you someday too. About money.
Yeah, you got it.
I thought we were gonna sing the softball can fight song.
What is that? I bet they know it.
Yeah. My phone's taught me that.
Thank you very
All
much.
right. Edward, thank you for your service. As always.
Thank you.
Be good.
I'll see you around.
We'll see you.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of work to do yet today. We're going to get started on all of that. None of this, not diminishing the importance of what we've already done, because that is a significant role of the St. Louis County Board, is to make certain that our citizens understand how much we appreciate them. Okay. All right. With that,
Great thing, bringing this, doing this recognition. This is really one of the, you have a lot of good ideas, but the
These are-
recognition things are fantastic.
these are good people. I mean, this is, I watched them work for years, and it's impressive. It really is. It's an example that we have in many, many communities, but Chisholm, I gotta say, Chisholm, when it comes to volunteers, I wasn't kidding when I said I think it's the volunteer capital of northeastern Minnesota because of their efforts. I really do. With that, folks, we have the consent agenda before you, moved by Commissioner Boyle, supported by Commissioner McDonald. Anything off that consent agenda that people want to pull down for further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion is carried. Next, we have some public hearings pursuant to Resolution 24-292, adopted June 4th, 2024, to receive citizens' comments on the established priorities and funding recommendations for the Community Development Block Grant, Home Investment Partnership, Home and Emergency Solutions Grant, included in the 2024 Action Plan, Resolution 24-261. Moved by Commissioner Musa, supported by Commissioner Jugovich. Not debatable, it's establishing that public hearing. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. What did I mess up?
Hey, point of order, yeah.
Okay, wait, I gotta go through the whole, even on the home one? Seriously? Okay, you know what? I messed up, okay? Which I do from time to time. But I didn't realize that this public hearing had to have the entire process. So here we go.
Mr. Chair, it's been noticed, and we'll go through the process, and you know that the clerk is a pit bull
Right,
when it comes
right,
to
when
this
it comes to-
protocol.
Then I'm gonna ask my Land and Minerals Director if she would find me a glass of water or something. Or one of them. Julie, I go to people I can count on, Jim. With that, we will have to go through the entire public hearing process. I'm going to turn to Clerk Chapman to please read the resolution on the public hearing.
This public hearing is being conducted pursuant to applicable Minnesota statutes and the standing rules of the county board. A copy of the standing rules is available upon request. Formal record will be made of the proceedings. Accordingly, we request that all speakers sign in and state your name and address at the beginning of your testimony. Both verbal and documentary evidence will be accepted by the board. The order for the hearing will be as follows. First, St. Louis County Administration will make the initial presentation. Second, representatives of other governmental entities may appear and give testimony. Third, supporters of the proposed action may appear and give testimony. Next, opponents of the proposed action may appear and give testimony. And lastly, other comments or evidence from the public. Commissioners may question witnesses at the end of their testimony or at the end of all testimony.
Very good. Thank you, Clerk Chapman. So next I will turn to administration to make the initial presentation. Administrator Gray, are you doing this part? Okay.
Thank you, Chair Nelson, Commissioners. On behalf of administration, Director Jablonski, our Director of Community and Planning, Economic Development, will be making the presentation. We also have Brad Gustafson, who is really our point person when it comes to all things HUD. So thank you for being here, Brad. But Darren, as Director of Community and Economic Development, will make the presentation.
Very good.
Commissioner Chair, thank you. Commissioner Chair, Commissioners, it's hard to follow up with all of that's gone on today. But we got some positive stuff to go through today on this public hearing. We are holding a public hearing today in the submission of our annual action plan for CDBG, home, and ESG programs. As you know, St. Louis County is a HUD entitlement program area, excluding Duluth. Duluth has its own entitlement program funding pool, so this is everything outside of Duluth. HUD, through this application process, we have a consolidated 5-year plan. Within that 5-year plan, we have to submit an annual action plan, which is before you today. In this action plan, we received from HUD $2.5 million, almost $2.6 million between all three funds of home, ESG, and CDBG. And these action plans were formulated by our citizen committees, by CDBG, home, and ESG. These committees are volunteer-led. They've met, they've made recommendations, and the recommendations are attached to your project list here. With that almost $2.6 million in HUD allocation this year, we have unexpended funds and program income every year that from homeowners that repay some of our single-family rehab funds early, and other unexpended funds. So those unexpended and reprogrammed funds, we're able to distribute about $3.2 million in program funds. And we're able to do 36 projects. And the 36 projects are spread across our entire area in different categories. And it's kind of fascinating, these 36 projects also have a lot of tentacles, and I'll go through that as well. The action plan required a 30-day comment period prior to this public hearing. We held that public comment period, and it closes today with the public hearing as well. So some of the projects, 36 projects in total, 27 of them were CDBG, 4 in the home consortium. As you know, the home consortium is 5-county region. It's made of a lot of representation and commissioners from those areas. But the $3.2 million, some of the projects, we do some of the local area projects. We got, this is kind of a timely CDBG program area this year, a lot of the ESG, because with the flood events, some of this public service assistance is kind of timely because this CDBG is a lot of help out there that's supported through our public agencies. Some of the note projects this coming fiscal 2024 is we're going to continue to expand the Chisholm, some local Chisholm accessible playground. You heard the mayor talk about the splash pad that was just launched. We funded that last year, portion funding, and they just held their open house last week. So we continue to expand that park in Chisholm here. And of course, we got some timely projects in here at the City of Cook HRA. Also receiving some recommended monies in the CDBG this year as well. We also, within the project, we fund AEOA, which AEOA distributes money to single-family rehab, and we expect to do about 60 single-family rehab projects this year through AEOA. We'd also have down payment assistance that is not funded this year, but they got unexpended monies that they're going to use up last year and the prior year to continue to do our down payment assistance, and we'll be doing quite a bit of there as well. So a lot of good projects, and so today we're looking to hold this public hearing and get authorization from the county board to allow us to submit this action plan to HUD and get the contracts executed with these 37 projects.
Very good, thank you. With that, are there other representatives of other government entities who wish to appear and give testimony? Are there any representatives of other governmental entities? Seeing none. Are there supporters of the proposed action who wish to appear and give testimony? Any supporters of the proposed action? Seeing none. Are there any opponents to the proposed action who wish to appear and give testimony? Seeing none. Are there any other comments or evidence from the public at this point? Seeing none. I would look for a motion to close the public hearing. Moved by Commissioner Harlan, supported by Commissioner Musaf to close the public hearing. The vote to close the public hearing. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Now, I would look for a motion to approve the resolution that's before you.
So moved.
Commissioner Musaf, supported by Commissioner Boyle. Any discussion from commissioners at this point? I do just want to mention one thing, because we heard about some of the projects. I mean, this money that comes to us from the federal government, especially CDBG and HUD, these are jobs in our communities. And so when you talk to our federal representatives, make sure they understand the impact of these programs throughout our area and the amount of jobs that are created as a result. With that, any other comments from commissioners? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Thank you very much, and I apologize for that mess up that I did there. Okay. With that, we have 2 more public hearings to go through here, and we've got some folks that have waited quite some time to get these done. But we did move them forward considerably so that they could get them done sooner. The first one is pursuant to Resolution 24-318 adopted June 11, 2024, to consider the issuance of an off-sale intoxicating liquor license to Howler Petrol LLC, doing business as Swan Lake Liquor in New Independence Township. And I will turn to Clerk Chapman.
This public hearing is being conducted pursuant to Minnesota Statute Section 348, St. Louis County Ordinance Number 28, which is the liquor ordinance, and the standing rules of the county board. A copy of the standing rules is available upon request. A formal record will be made of the proceedings. Accordingly, we request that all speakers sign in and state your name and address at the beginning of your testimony. Both verbal and documentary evidence will be accepted by the board. The order for the hearing will be as follows. First, the county attorney will make the initial presentation. Second, representatives of the establishment may appear and give testimony. Third, representatives of other governmental entities may appear and give testimony. Fourth, supporters of the proposed action may appear and give testimony. Next, opponents of the proposed action may appear and give testimony. And lastly, other comments or evidence from the public. Commissioners may question witnesses at the end of their testimony or at the end of all testimony.
Thank you, Clerk Chapman. With that, Attorney Mackey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Good morning. We're here today on the application of GER Petro LLC, doing business as Swan Lake Liquor for an off-sale intoxicating liquor license. I will be submitting a public hearing packet to Clerk Chapman. The packet contains all documentation necessary for the granting of this application, and there are no legal impediments to the granting of the application.
Thank you, Attorney Mackey. With that, are there any representatives of the establishment who wish to appear in testimony? The applicants did appear in front of the liquor committee, met all of the criteria of the liquor committee. The one question I guess that we have for you here today is you have read the mint-colored St. Louis County Liquor Ordinance. You understand it and you intend to abide by it?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Any questions that commissioners have for them at this point?
Sorry to make you hang around so long, but it was like a class in government.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Okay, very good. Representatives of other government entities who wish to appear and give testimony. Are there any representatives of other government entities? Seeing none. Supporters of the proposed action may appear and give testimony. Are there any supporters here who wish to appear and give testimony? Seeing none. Are there any opponents to the proposed action who wish to appear and give testimony here today? Seeing none. Are there any other comments or evidence from the public at this point? Seeing none. Motion to close the public hearing by Commissioner McDonald, supported by Commissioner Harla. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, signify by sign aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. Motion to, this is in my district, so I'm actually going to step outside the chair to make this motion if I may. I would move the resolution in front of us. Is there supported by Commissioner Harla? Discussion. Seeing none. All those in favor signify by sign aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Congratulations. Good luck with your business.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Very good. We have another public hearing here, and I'll allow you to head on out if you'd like to.
Unless you want to stay.
Okay. I know you're busy. I know you're busy getting that business taken over. And not
Thank you. Thanks again, everybody.
Good luck again.
Yeah,
With your project. All right. We have a second public hearing. This one's again resolution number 24-319, adopted June 11, 2024, to consider the issuance of an off-sale intoxicating liquor license to Lagertha 2 LLC, doing business as the Viking Bar in Morcom Township. And I will turn to Clerk Chapman to please read the agenda for the public hearing.
This public hearing is being conducted pursuant to Minnesota Statute Section 348, St. Louis County Ordinance Number 28, which is the liquor ordinance, and the standing rules of the county board. A copy of the standing rules is available upon request. A formal record will be made of the proceedings. Accordingly, we request that all speakers sign in to state your name and address at the beginning of your testimony. Both verbal and documentary evidence will be accepted by the board. The order for the hearing will be as follows. First, the county attorney will make the initial presentation. Second, representatives of the establishment may appear and give testimony. Third, representatives of other governmental entities may appear and give testimony. Fourth, supporters of the proposed action may appear and give testimony. Next, opponents of the proposed action may appear and give testimony. And lastly, other comments or evidence from the public. Commissioners may question witnesses at the end of their testimony or at the end of all testimony.
Very good. Thank you, Clerk Chapman. Attorney Mackey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. We're here on our second public hearing for an off-sale intoxicating liquor license. The applicant this time is Lagertha 2 LLC, doing business as the Viking Bar. I will be submitting another public hearing packet to Clerk Chapman. The packet contains all documentation necessary for the granting of the application, and there are no legal impediments if the board chooses to grant the application.
Thank you, Attorney Mackey. Are there representatives of the establishment who wish to appear and give testimony?
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Susan Locken, Lagatha 2, Nordic warrior princess, and we're doing business at Viking Bar, and I would really appreciate this off sale. We're clicking along pretty good over there.
Very good. You have read the mint-colored ordinance?
Yes,
liquor
I have.
ordinance?
Yes.
You do understand it and
Yes.
intend to abide by it?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you for appearing here today.
Thank you very much.
Questions from commissioners for the applicant at this point? Commissioner Yugovich can't wait for you to get everything up and running. All right, thank you for coming.
All right, thank you.
Are there any representatives of other government entities who wish to appear and give testimony? Other government entities who wish to appear and give testimony? Are there supporters of the proposed action who wish to appear and give testimony? Are there supporters of the proposed action today who wish to appear and give testimony? Seeing none. Are there any opponents to the proposed action who wish to appear and give testimony? Any opponents to the proposed action? Seeing none. Are there any comments or evidence at this point from the public also? Seeing none, I would look for a motion to close the public hearing, moved by Commissioner Yugovich, supported by Commissioner Musov. All those in favor of closing the public hearing signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. Commissioner Yugovich, care to make this motion, or Commissioner McDonald supporting? Very good. So we have a motion and support. Commissioner discussion on this, other than everybody being so pleased that this ownership is changing, and we know we're having the service up there will get nothing but better and be part of that community. We really felt that at the liquor committee. We really did.
Good, thank you.
So, thank you.
Appreciate that.
So we have a motion and a second, moved by Commissioner Yugovich, supported by Commissioner McDonald. You're looking at me.
If he wanted to make it, it's in his district.
Yeah, but
I'm physically closest, but it's in his
you're
district.
physically closest. That's why I picked you, okay? And besides that, how many burgers are you gonna have up there versus him?
Fish fry.
Okay, there we go. With that said, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. Good luck with your business. Sorry we held you up so long this morning.
Okay.
All right. At this point, there's nothing on the regular agenda. We'll look commissioner reports. Commissioner McDonald, do you care to comment on the Ely Festival coming up, or you're gonna wait
Well,
later?
I was gonna do that at the end, but I'll gladly do it now.
Do it now.
Okay, as most people in northeastern Minnesota realize that every now and then a community does an all-class reunion. Chisholm, which we were at, is the gold standard when it comes to all-class reunions. We do one every 5 years.
Mark Wagenstein.
Yeah, but we are celebrating, starting this weekend, the 100th anniversary of the Ely School District. And we have an honored Ely graduate, Mr. Fink, with us today. So roughly 1,000 people have pre-registered and others coming in. So we look forward to a very festive 10-day celebration in Ely. There's going to be a talent show, a variety show, an alumni baseball game, the famous 4th of July parade. I just don't know where everybody's going to fit for the 4th of July parade, because it's always very well attended, and throw in another 1,000 or so people. It could be interesting. But a concert to kick it off this Saturday, and a concert to end it next week. So a lot of stuff going on out at Miners Rye, tours of the mining facility at the Pioneer Mine, you name it. It's been very well done, and invite everybody to come to Ely, food trucks, you name it, but looking for some good weather and a lot of fun and frolic. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We used some good news up in that area. Thank you for that, Commissioner McDonald.
Anybody needs
Any
a place
other-
to stay,
sorry.
if anyone needs a place to stay, they can stay at Commissioner McDonald's.
Okay.
Got a big yard.
Big yard. Very good. Any other commissioner comments at this point? Seeing none, we're not adjourning the board. We're coming back into committee of the whole. We have HRA first and then committee of the whole. And then we will reconvene the board to take care of any actions that we've done, because we do not convene as a board, I believe, for a couple of weeks here. So with that said, we stand at recess with the board for just a couple of minutes here. And I would like to immediately call the St. Louis County HRA, convene the HRA, and turn to Clerk Chapman to please take the roll.
Commissioner Harlow.
Here.
Commissioner Boyle. Here. Commissioner Grimm. Commissioner McDonald. Commissioner Musa. Commissioner Yudowich. And Sheriff Commissioner Nelson.
Thank you. Yes, President. With that, the first order of business is to approve the minutes of the January 2nd, 2024 meeting. So moved by Commissioner McDonald, supported by Commissioner Yudowich. No?
I don't know. What?
Yes.
The dynamic duo.
Did I have it from all sides here? Okay, supported by Commissioner Harlow. Those guys are always kibitzing on that tail end of the board, Clerk Chapman, so I have to. With that said, the minutes are in front of you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried. Next order of business is the appointment of an executive director. This is resolution 24-02. I'm going to turn to Administrator Gray to frame this one. I see it's pretty well laid out here for who it's going to be, but it'll keep us there.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair Nelson, Commissioners. Yes, it's very straightforward. As we've had some turnover, this resolution confirms that the board, the HRA board, will appoint the Director of Economic and Community Development as the HRA Executive Director. We formerly had specific names. This I want to note is linked to the Director title for Economic and Community Development. And of course, that's Mr. Jablonski.
Thank you, Administrator Gray, for that definition. And it was moved by Commissioner Musa, supported by Commissioner Yudowich, which I had failed to do ahead of that. Mr. Jablonski is wearing another hat, or are we adding 2 hats, 3 hats?
We just need something to fill up his plate.
Very good. Very good. All right, everyone understands that. Very pleased to see this in front of us. All those in favor signify by the sign. Hang on one second, I'm going to wait for Commissioner Boyle to get back in. There's aye. All those in favor signify by the sign aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. A motion to adjourn the St. Louis County Housing and Redevelopment Authority is in order. Moved by Commissioner Boyle, supported by Commissioner Yudowich. All those in favor signify by the sign aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. So, we are at the Committee of the Whole. Does Commissioner, do you want to take a moment or two, or do you want to go right into Committee of the Whole? We're going to take a minute or two. Personal privilege has been asked for, so we will reconvene. We will reconvene as Committee of the Whole at 25 after the hour. For a few more minutes out there. I will call the Committee of the Whole meeting to order. And again, as Clerk Chapman, please take the roll.
Commissioner Harlow.
Here.
Commissioner Boyle. Commissioner Grimm. Commissioner McDonald.
Here.
Commissioner Musa.
Present.
Commissioner Yudowich.
Present.
And Sheriff Commissioner Nelson.
President, I would like to note that Commissioner Grimm has a 8-pound plus reason for not being here. a wonderful, I've seen the pictures of a beautiful little baby boy. So we are officially, as a board, back down to 7 members as of when she comes the next time. We've been at 8 for about 9 months, so we'll be back at 7. Not that she had 2 votes, she did, but she could have, maybe she could have made an argument for 2 votes. With that said, we have the committee consent agenda before you. Are there items that, first of all, would somebody care to move? Commissioner McDonald? Commissioner Foyle as a support. Would somebody care to, is there any items that people would care to bring down for further discussion? It's quite an extensive consent agenda. Commissioner McDonald.
Mr. Chair, yes, I would like to bring down item number 3, the sale of surplus fee land of the Tower Public Works facility. And if I may, Mr. Chair, I'd like to talk a little bit briefly on items number 1 and 2. I'm not going to bring them down, but I just want to mention something.
If you would like to speak to those 2 right now, go ahead. Commissioner Musaf, add number 3 to your agenda under Public Works and Transportation. And Commissioner McDonald, comments on 1 and 2.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you see there, items number 1 and 2 are very significant trail development projects in St. Louis County. Nearly $1 million worth of projects with the Voyager Country ATV and also the Prospector ATV Club. This is a partnership in between the ATV Joint Powers Board, the Department of Natural Resources, and the IRRR. So very significant trail connections throughout St. Louis County as we do some more work with the Prospector Loop and also the Voyager trail system in northern St. Louis County. So I just want to make the board aware of some good stuff happening, and we got a lot of volunteers, as we talked earlier about volunteerism, a lot of volunteers putting a lot of significant hours with a lot of the flooding and the washing on the trails. We've got some people working on that all the time here lately in the last week to get those trails back open so our visitors can enjoy the great scenery and all northeastern Minnesota has to offer. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Very good, thank you, Commissioner McDonald. I would like to note that perhaps a certain editor of a paper could take a look at our agenda here today when there's comments about us not doing enough. Okay, I would like to see anyone else putting forward a consent agenda of this magnitude along with our regular agenda. So I will challenge that individual, please come to our meeting and see what we do, because you'll find it's pretty extensive. With that said, all those in favor of the consent agenda with item number 3 pulled down, signify by the sign aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. So we will go on to establishing a couple of public hearings. I'll turn to Commissioner Musaf first for the establishment of a public hearing.
Thank you, Chair Nelson. One public hearing to establish here being letter 24-287. This is to revoke a portion of County Road 161 or Old Highway 2 in Solway Township, set for a date of Monday, July 29th, 2024, 10:30 a.m. in Solway Township. I would move this. Is there support? Support. Supported by Commissioner Harla. Just establishing this public hearing. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Motion carries. That's the public hearing I have. Chair Nelson, back to you.
Thank you, Chair Commissioner Musaf. I'll turn to Chair Commissioner McDonald for another public hearing.
Thank you, Chair Nelson. This is a resolution to establish a public hearing to consider a moratorium on registration of cannabis businesses in St. Louis County through December 31, 2024. This public hearing would take place on Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024 at 10 a.m. Ely City Hall, Ely, Minnesota. This is board letter 24-288. I would move it. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Nelson. No discussion due to being a public hearing. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, that's all I have under that. Chair Nelson, back to
Very
you.
good. Thank you, Chair Commissioner McDonald. I'm going to turn right back to you because we're into Central Management and Intergovernmental Committee. Commissioner McDonald.
Thank you, Chair Nelson. The first item we have is Board Letter 24-289. It is a resolution authorizing the county auditor to advertise and accept applications for the Civil Service Commission vacancy. Somebody care to move this?
I'll move it.
Moved by Commissioner Nelson.
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Harla. And I'll turn over to administration for a very brief explanation.
Thank you, Chair McDonald. Thank you for the opportunity. This is to authorize the county auditor to advertise for a vacant position on the Civil Service Commission. That's an important support group for our Human Resources and St. Louis County team. And we have a vacancy due to resignation, so we're ready to move forward on that. And this will allow us to post for the position and hopefully get members of the community to be interested.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? Hearing or seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to a second item I have today. It's Board Letter 24-290. It's a reallocation of a vacant loss control manager position to a loss control specialist. Safety and risk management. I would move this as your support. Supported by Commissioner Musa. Administrator.
Thank you, Chair McDonald. Commissioners, this is pretty straightforward. As you're aware that anytime there's a vacant position, we're looking towards filling that role. We do reassess the scope and nature of the responsibilities. And in this case, we feel that the loss control specialist position is more appropriate, and that will result actually in a decrease in the cost, but of approximately $8,700 a year. The driver is really what's the workload, what's the needs and skills that we're seeking. So the action before the board is to approve the reallocation to a specialist position from a manager position.
Thank you, Administrator Gray. Any comments, questions from commissioners? Hearing or seeing none, all those in favor of the resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that motion carries. And the next item I have today, sort of apropos to what we were talking about earlier, is the settlement of DeMars versus St. Louis County, case number 69HI-CV-23-713, and Sport Leader versus the state, case number 62-CV-23-3405. It's a resolution approving the proposed settlement of both of those cases. I would move that. Is there support? Support. Supported by Commissioner Nelson. Administrator Gray.
Thank you, Chair McDonald and Commissioners. And we've had a lot of discussion around this topic. This is the board's opportunity and the requirement under the law to approve the proposed settlement and authorize our officials, including the Attorney's Office and others, to take the appropriate actions to ensure that the settlement law enacted by the legislature is complied with. I would note that the settlement amount is identified, and it also, part of the settlement commits the county, all counties, to certain actions regarding the disposal of certain tax forfeited properties. So this has been, this is a very quick recap for what has been an extremely long and arduous and complex legal and constitutional discussion, and a lot of work by the legislature regarding this appropriation. The Attorney's General Office for their work in leading this discussion, and other state agencies have been involved. But obviously counties have been at the forefront of this, and we're pleased that the settlement's been funded. The settlement was reached in principle initially, and that the ensuing legislation requirements, we intend to comply with those, and And this is the board's endorsement of our commitment to that settlement and the requirements under the law.
Thank you, Administrator Gray. Commissioner Nelson.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner McConnell. Certainly want to once again reinforce the fact that our attorney's office and the involvement that we've had in this. Thank you, Attorney Mackey. Please bring this back to your staff. We know the time and energy and dedication that those individuals had to getting us to this point. Please acknowledge that, at least from this commissioner, and I'm sure from this board as well. Commissioner McConnell.
Any other comments? Again, I would reiterate, thank you to all the people in St. Louis County that have had a hand in this. You know, you look at Nate, I call him now the Frazee Flash, you know, so. He was very instrumental in this from the attorney's side, as we mentioned earlier. Julie Marinucci from Land and Minerals. I mean, it does not get done without the help of those people and others. And Nick Campanario and Nate, when they walked in the room, people knew that business was meant. And it's nice when you're in a group, you know, representing 87 Minnesota counties, that our people are leaned upon to get where we need to go. And that's something that I am, as a commissioner, very proud of the staff we have. And people look to us to be a leader. And we take that role, we relish that role, because deep down inside we are St. Louis County. And so thanks to everybody that had a hand in this. And moving forward, there's going to be a little bit of change. There's going to be a little bit more work. There's going to be some tweaks here and there, but we have a commitment from the legislature that, you know, they understand this now. There's some things that we need to work on, and they're willing to take a look at it if something comes up that is unexpected. So, hearing or seeing nothing else, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. Back to you, Mr. Chair, that's all I have.
Thank you, McDonald, Central Management Intergovernmental Committee Chair. I'm going to now turn to Chair Commissioner Yugovich under our Natural Resources Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One item today, it's the letter number 24-292, support preservation of working industrial forests and Superior National Forest. I would support. Second by Commissioner McDonald. I know we have Director Marinucci here, if you would like to address the board. I don't want to steal your thunder.
Heaven forbid. Well, I tell you what, Director Marinucci can talk about. I'll frame the issue for the public and for the board very quickly. The action before the board is to approve and support comment on the recently opened mining, forest plan for the Superior National Forest. And this is a very critical working forest, as we call it, for us. And with the open comment period, we want to ensure that that the active management of timber and recreation and mineral development maintains as it is today. And it just reinforces broadly the importance of this key resource to St. Louis County and the state and the entire region. So Julie can talk to that a little bit more, but we wanted to ensure that we referenced the current language that's in the plan, and that it supports the ongoing development and maintenance of the working industrial aspect of it.
Thank you, Chair, Commissioners. The Superior National Forest is opening up the forest plan. And with that, they're looking at a few different components of it that once you open it, it provides the opportunity for additional comments to come in and the Forest Service may have to respond to those. So from our land management standpoint and the acreage that we manage, it is key that we've got this fabric of public land ownership working together towards the same goals. And we leverage the Superior National Forest in coordination with the DNR and in coordination with the Forest Service for the timber industry, for recreation, for mineral development, as long as it is outside of the Boundary Waters Wilderness area. So I think that this resolution is intended to make sure that St. Louis County has put its position out there, saying that this working industrial forest is key to our region, both from the standpoint of integrated land management, but then also for supporting our industries and our businesses. And then, as you had heard earlier, the mineral potential in this area is also key to make sure that we continue to protect that. So, no, the resolution as worded is supporting the work at revising the forest plan for some of the specific issues that they have laid out around towboats and whatnot, but then also making sure that we're reinforcing the base of the industrial working forest. So I'll stand for any questions.
I'm looking to you.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you don't have, I didn't know who was first.
I don't have
here.
anything, no.
Commissioner Harlan. You had.
I do. Then this may be a little, I usually ask questions in advance, but with this plan, is there a way to open up, I know we talk a lot about how much we support the area within the Boundary Waters as well too. Is there any discussions that we can request PILT funding for these areas too? I know that's something that Commissioner McDonald's been working closely with the western states, but is there anything we can put in comment to make sure that where we provide for public safety and support, that there is reimbursement and federal support for that?
You know, I think that Commissioner, I think that's an interesting point. It's, you know, our comments on this are kind of framing the entire issue, so I don't know that it would be inappropriate to include some sort of a reflection of the work that we do within those areas, but I would default to our Chair of Natural Resources on kind of how the board would like to handle the insertion of something like that.
I would be fine.
Chair Commissioner Yugovich, I'm in favor of doing something like that, but I would like an opportunity to frame that separately outside of our Land and Minerals Department, go to our public safety folks and our intergovernmental and on this for to make sure that we're covering both of those aspects, whether it's PILT. We also own land inside of the Boundary Waters that we've been trying to orchestrate a trade with the feds for, 30 years or thereabouts. Maybe there's an opportunity to weigh in on that as well. I guess I'd like to see it as a separate resolution, maybe 2 or 3 resolutions, so that we highlight each and every one of the pieces that I think would be important to highlight there. I agree with you though. PILT is important. I would like to see us highlight the fact that emergency services that we're performing within, I mean, the Superior National Forest, this is numbers that I got from Congressman Oberstar years ago. They believe the estimate is over 3 million visitors to the Superior National. That's huge. And when you look at the amount of roads St. Louis County has throughout the Superior National, and then we look at the disaster that just happened. So I think there's more to say on this, and I would like to offer that we pass this resolution and look at some of the other aspects that maybe wouldn't be as traditional to weigh in, but certainly are relevant points that I think should be brought up. So, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chair Jugovich. I think, with the variety of things that we're talking about here, between PILT and search and rescue, secure rural schools, you name it, I think if we would draft a letter to present with all this information in and submitted in the comment part. I think that covers all our bases. As you know, the secure rural schools that I was in the Farm Bill, and putting that in there, I think it states how supportive we are of fast-tracking that Farm Bill, which it is on track to do that. And SRS brings roughly $500,000 to St. Louis County. So I think a letter with all of those things listed in there would be a perfect piece in the puzzle as we submit some public comment, whereas we could put 3, 4, 5 different things in that letter and to supplement this resolution as well. So we've got all our bases covered. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And on that point with the secure rural schools, there's also the, within the Farm Bill, the Good Neighbor Authority, which is something that is also key to reinforce, especially when we start looking at some of the flooding and whatnot that we've seen, and how we could invest some of those federal monies in maintaining some of our road networks and trail infrastructure.
Any other comments or questions? Okay.
Mr. Chair. In light of the discussion that you've had, it might be a good idea for someone to make a directive motion directing admin to draft that letter, in addition to the board resolution that's being considered at this time. Because the board resolution is pretty straightforward, and there would need to be some additional board action in order to take that additional step of sending a letter.
Very good.
Mr. Chair, again, I think there's a lot of discussion that needs to take place about all of the other aspects of this. Built, of course, is in the Farm Bill as well. I know because we moved it there years ago, because it was there but never funded on the other side. So I think this is a beginning point. I'd like to complete this beginning point, and I would look for. I think I've already laid out not only your committee, Chair Yugovich, but also Public Safety and Intergovernmental Committee to really look at drafting something to that nature. But I don't want to get too prescriptive with it, because I don't think we've thought of everything that we would like to comment on this. I think there's more. I mean, this really lays out that it's a working force. And now, as a working force, how do we interact with it as a government entity? And I think we have a lot of things to talk about. Land trade would be another one, Commissioner Yugovich, that, I mean, years ago, I actually suggested that we build docks on those county authorities up there in the boundary waters and rent the docks out because they would be very, very popular. But, I mean, we've got several hundred acres of tax forfeited land still within the boundary waters, pardon?
3,500.
3,500 acres of tax forfeited land that's supposed to be paying back to the people of St. Louis County, that hasn't ever since 1967. So we've got a few years under our belt, but let's put that all together and try and come back with several more things. This is just a baseline. Thank you.
I just want to ensure that with us meeting in late July, that we would have the time to, that we'd be able to have more action. I know that sometimes staff has too many things. I just want to ensure staff would have time to do that.
I think there's, Mr. Chair, if I may, I think we've given pretty clear direction to administration that we want to see this come back in many other forms, or however administration sees fit. This might be in a conversation with our federal lobbyists to really bore in and see where we're at on a number of these issues. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So we do not need a second motion, or should we? We just want to make sure we get our bases covered.
So,
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Just if we don't want to take the action today to draft and send the letter, no directive motion is needed.
Okay, so we can do that in the future.
Yeah.
And Chair Gigovich, Commissioners, we are looking at those things. I appreciate Commissioner Harlow really highlighting that there's a broader suite of issues. We also want to be specific in our response to the master plan, forest plan that's being circulated. So these might be items that might contribute to the plan or might be separate issues that we want to continue to focus on. So I don't want to mix the two. And as we've had this long-standing working industrial forest in place for the plan, this is just to ensure and support that we maintain that status because it's so critical for the reasons that Julie and others have talked at this table. And we'll continue to look at that broader suite of, even through a financial but also a programmatic lens that Commissioner Harlow brought up. So, and it will ultimately probably result in a letter or letters, but we'll have an opportunity to dialogue with the board on that and continue to do that. But we do want to be responsive to the forest plan itself.
Okay, anything else? All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Yugovich, thank you for paying attention to that. The next is the Under Finance and Budget Committee, Commissioner Harlan.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I will make a motion to approve the purchase of property insurance 24-293. Do I have a second? A second by Commissioner Musaf. I will hand it over to administration and then to Director Visco.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Harlow and Commissioners. Yes, this is an update to our insurance planning and coverage, and I am going to, as you suggest, Chair Harlow, have Donna Visco, our Director of Purchasing, come forward to talk a little bit about this. We have a representative, Mr. James from our Marshall McCunnan, and a longtime partner and an ongoing partner as we work through many issues and have enjoyed his and their expertise over time. But Donna, if you would, Director Visco, I'm talking through some of the specifics here, and this is important and significant high-profile coverage, and I think we're seeing that, especially since we had an unusual, very significant claim with the impact to the G. Duluth truck facility. So,
Thank you, Director Visco.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, board members, thank you so much, first off, for all the support you all have given me through the years. I've made a determination to retire. It was hard because, as I tell you, every time I come in front of you, I have the funnest job in the county. And I mean that with all my heart. I am really happy to have been a part of everything. I'm happy to have the support of the board in so many projects that we do, so thank you. Second off, here for property insurance today. We come every year. I know we all miss Mr. Heimbach and his visits with us, but Chris James is now our agent from Marshall McCullen, and as Administrator Gray said, we have had challenges this year with the G. Duluth roof that collapsed, and this has been a year where we really got to see how much support we are getting from the agency that's been supporting us. So go ahead.
Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome.
Chairman, Commissioners, thanks for your time today. To get you a side note, you're losing a heck of a professional here. She's the best. Yes, we've had challenges. Last Tuesday, you had the anniversary of a 100-year flood that happened 10 years ago. And we had another 100-year flood that happened last Tuesday. Climate change is real, it's rapid. The property insurance market is very, very, very challenging since the first of the year. As a country, the United States has had over 2,000 major tornadoes and unprecedented hail damage. On a personal note, if we could get a copper nickel mine permitted so that we could fight climate change, I'd be really happy. But aside from that, the market, the insurance companies can't keep up. They're changing conditions, they're changing premiums. what does your deductibles look like, what are they gonna pay for, what aren't they gonna pay for. And the premiums right now, frame construction in a rural part of our county is gonna be probably 18 to 40 cents depending upon the age of the building per $100 of value. I'm happy to report that we negotiated quite significantly on our renewal, that there is no change in condition, and our rate went from 8 cents per $100 of value to 9 cents per $100 of value. Some of that was due to we added some value in some buildings, but more than anything else, it's due to our long-standing relationship with Chubb and our ability to negotiate on your behalf. So the renewal has come in well below what we're seeing in the market, and it's going quite well. To the claim that's happened on Gene Duluth Road at the Tool House, we had the carrier bring in a forensic accounting team that caused us some challenges. We pushed back against all of that. We have been paid the initial settlement of that building. We're a long ways down to hiring a design team. We will then hire later in the summer the construction, and I figure that building will be put back to better than it was before by this time next year, and that claim will be closed into resolution. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to entertain.
Colleagues, any questions?
No, go ahead. I'm good.
Hearing none, all those in favor? Signify by saying
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you very much for your work.
Thank you.
Partnership. And Director Disco, your leadership is so important. You will be very missed. And lately, I had a colleague refusing your retirement, but we have to honor that influence, even if we do. So.
Thank you very much. And I was really happy to hear about the work you guys are doing on the trails and supporting that. I happen to have won an 82-mile ride on Saturday. It's in Itasca County where they haven't had as much flooding. Saw over 1,000 lady slippers. You know, this is the time of year to get out and enjoy our beautiful environment. I just was like this, oh, ooh, ooh, ooh. I wasn't driving.
Thank you very much. All right, next, colleagues, you'll see we had given to us today an update to our agenda that has the award of bids for Campus Guagama, the shower house. And this is board letter 24-294. I know this is an important piece to an important part of land that we, an organization that we manage. And so, do I have a motion?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Moved by Commissioner McDonald, supported by Chair Commissioner Nelson. I will turn this over to Administrator Gray.
Thank you, Chair Harla. And yes, this is a significant, long time in coming investment in a new building for laundry, showers, and bathrooms at Campus Guagama. The Campus Guagama Board, of which Commissioners Nelson and McDonald are part of, as well as Auditor Nelson, has met on this. Director Gottschall, Jim, and I have had the opportunity to spend some significant time with the Executive Director of the camp. This project, the action for the board is to approve the award of the contract to the parent bidder, Lency Enterprises, in the amount of $1.35 million. And this is represents obviously a significant investment, but the year-round usability, the maintenance-free character of the building, the ADA accessibility, the upgrades to our electrical systems, the upgrades in connectivity on the water and sewer side. That was a significant investment. I think I can certainly speak for a couple of the commissioners who have been engaged with Campus Guagama for some time, that this is a long time coming. We've made a lot of improvements. This board has been extremely engaged and supportive of capital improvements at the camp to ensure that it's a great experience for our kids and visitors, and one that parents can be comfortable that their children are in a good spot. We had the opportunity last week as part of the board meeting to meet a lot of the incoming camp counselors. And we even got to see Commissioner dance a legitimate jig on the floor as opposed to dancing on the board level here. So he had a nice dance out there, and that was very good. And so tremendous leadership team out there, and Robert and Stephen. And this will ensure that the camp, it will be post this season's construction and being to the fall, that we would want to complete this prior to winter months. So a good project, and a lot of thought has been put into it. And so the action for the board is to approve the contract award.
Thank you. This has been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Commissioner Nelson.
Very briefly, Commissioner McDonald avoided that meeting for the very reason that we were asked to show our support, but with a I think it's get down, something like that. But anyhow, I just want to comment that I want to thank this board for the support they've given Campus Quagmire over the years, and the fact that there are 86 other counties out there that would love to have Campus Quagmire. The fact of the matter is, we've got it. Thank you, Chair Commissioner Arnold.
Thank you. Seeing no further hands or lights, all those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, back to you.
No, one more. I'm sorry. Here you go.
Excuse me, I was
Here you go.
going
No. It's amended, and I apologize.
I was using both with my old sheet and my new sheet. You can identify that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
The third one.
Yep, I will move on to this as well, to a temporary 2024 flood relief program. Commissioner McDonald, would you like to move 24-295?
Madam Chair, so moved.
And supported by Commissioner Jukovich. And we will move to Director Fink.
David is here for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, Commissioner Arnold, Commissioners. Just a couple of comments. Unfortunately, we've brought several of these in the last decade. They're way for a waiver of flood-related debris acceptance for free. The 2012, obviously, flood has been this comparative standard that county-wide is most devastating. As most of the members know, that we have 2 solid waste management districts in this county, one of the 2 counties in the state of Minnesota that has 2. The 2 previous flood-related relief times were the 2012, obviously, and then the more recent up north 2022, both of which in our solid waste management area we've had very small impacts, and we've always had a couple of roll-offs out there collecting for about a month. My comparative standard for this event will be the comparative standard going forward because it affected most of our populated area. We have all 5 of our transfer stations, the regional landfill, several of our big canister sites set up to take flood-related debris through the end of July. So I've mobilized our staff, our contractors, to make sure that they're aware that there might be several more loads, extended hours I've looked at, contacted our regulator to make sure that the permit regulations are waived so we can accept more and outside of a covered area. So we are set up to document. We've already taken about 40 tons through the city of Virginia and the city of Hibbing. We're documenting all of that. We're getting ready for a lot more. Logistically, it's going to be a little tough, but we're looking at extended hours and taking a lot of debris through this event. So, stand for any questions.
Thank you, Director Fink, as always, ready to respond to challenges, and this is a way, I know we hear so often that we can't do a lot in the private sector. This is a way to really help people support. Chair Commissioner Nelson.
Thank you, Chair Commissioner Arnold. Once again, environmental services stepping up for these types of tragedies that quite frankly are impacting everybody's life that we serve as a county is being impacted here. But just like staying open during COVID, just like a lot of the other things that this department has done, we know why we're in the business, okay? And we know why we're in the business, not having a private landfill servicing us, where it is our own, so that we can take care of these types of events. Thank you.
So, go ahead.
Administrator Gray.
Yeah, so just to reiterate that we are waiving tip fees related to the disposal of flood-related materials. It does give authorize our Environmental Services Director through the end of July, plus an additional week if we deem appropriate. And consistent with my discussions with the chair and others, we are tracking our costs very diligently and for potential federal and state disaster relief assistance. So we'll keep that pledge to you and Commissioner Harla to do that. And of course, we're doing that on any number of other fronts throughout the organization.
Yeah, thank you, Administrator. Commissioner Harla. We've also just been in contact, or I have, with WLSSD, because we have joint powers agreements as things are changing. Water's moving south, and some water's moving north and others. So we're going to keep assessing where we need to move resources and working with the district. And I had several conversations with those folks as well. So always been a partner for us.
Thank you very much. Seeing no further hands, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It passes unanimously. Now we'll turn it back to Chair.
Thank you, Chair of Finance and Budget Committee, Chair Commissioner Harlan. I will now turn to Chair of Public Works and Transportation Committee, Commissioner Musaf. You have 2 items under your committee at this point.
Thank you, Chair Nelson. Yes, first up is award of bids, and this is letter 24-296 for precast concrete for the Gene Duluth facility that we have just talked about, and being awarded to the low bidder of Moline Concrete Products out of Circle Pines, Minnesota for $828,000. And I would move this as their support.
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Harla. Administrator Gray, would you like to add to this one?
Thank you, Chair Musa. Yes, just to support that we're moving expeditiously to ensure that we can get the foundation and other investments moving forward. In this case, these are the precast tip-up walls. That also we're committed to making the right fix, and I appreciate Chair Musaf's engagement on that, and making this a facility with the support of this board, both financially and directionally, to really make the right fix today and put some resources to it today to accommodate the equipment and other operating needs that we don't currently and haven't had historically at Gene Duluth. So this is an opportunity in a kind of a terrible sort of way with the collapse of the roof, but nobody was injured. We've been really working hard to ensure that our people have, the trucks have been covered, but salt sheds, potential future salt shed has been built. We've been working with the insurance a lot, and Brian Boder and Jim Faldesi have both been very engaged in this. So we're really looking forward to the right build-out. This will be the first of a number of cost awards that will be coming your way, and we'll be working through the finances as well. So we're pleased to get this rolling and get ahead of the lead time as best we can.
Thank you, Administrator Gray. Commissioners, comments, questions? Commissioner Boyle.
Yeah, just one quick comment, and it might have been left out because of the increase on getting this onto our agenda, but I noticed both with concrete here and with the Canvas Squagma that we didn't really have a county estimate, which I really like to have in there if needed, just to give you a ballpark of where we're at for funding. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you, Commissioner Boyle. Noted, Administrator Gray. Thank you. Any further questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Next up is pulled down letter 24-266, sale of surplus fee land, Tower Public Works Facility. Would you
So
care-
moved, Mr. Chair.
Moved by Commissioner McDonald. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Nelson. Administrator Gray.
Thank you, Chair Musoff, and the action for the board is to authorize the sale of our now former Tower Public Works facility at Marina Drive to the city of Tower, consistent with statute in the amount of $260,000. And this is a win for us and for the city. It's been something that they've been in negotiations with for a long time, so we're pleased to have that interest on their part, and of course, we're also pleased that our new facility is doing so well in Coolidge.
Thank you, Administrator Gray. I know Commissioner McDonald, you wanted to share on this one.
Yes, thank you, Chair Musoff. And again, this is one of those things that just proves what a partnership can do and get done for everybody. You look historically back to the Cook Garage, when the city of Cook was looking for a space, and we worked with the city of Cook, and they ended up purchasing that space that now has paid extreme dividends for the city as far as storage for their equipment, etc. Now, the city of Tower has various places around town where they store their equipment, and now, working in partnership with St. Louis County, they're able to now have a facility that they can call their own. And it just proves that with some due diligence and people getting together at the table and sitting down and figuring out what's best for everybody, we get in a position where we can do something like this. We benefit, as Administrator Gray said, the city of Tower benefits, which means the area residents benefit. And I think that's always been our task, and we continue to do that. And I pulled this down because sometimes, as Commissioner Nelson so eloquently states, we don't do a good job of telling the good stuff we do. And this is one of those. I'm happy to support this, and the city of Tower is excited as well. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner McDonald, and yes, truly a good news story. Any further comments or questions, Commissioners? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it, motion passes. That's all I have. Chair Nelson, back to you.
Thank you, Chair of Public Works and Transportation Committee, Commissioner Musa. We are at that point in the committee of the whole where Commissioner comments. Commissioner Yudovich.
Thank you. Just a couple of items today, Mr. Chair. First, Hibbing, 100-year anniversary. It's a good time to be a Blue Jacket. And we're looking forward to celebrating. There's a number of events. So if you have an opportunity, come up and spend some time in Hibbing and maybe meet with former classmates or just make some new friends. The other thing I wanted to touch base on is, obviously, we've had our conversations about flooding, and I want to echo Mayor Lance's comments about how, working together, trying to get your neighbors cleaned out, and any help we can give would be wonderful. If you can help, do it. If you need it, ask for it. I know Commissioner McDonald and Commissioner Nelson spoke with the governor. I'm sure good conversations moving forward. I did not hear from the governor. I'm sure he just lost my number. But I did speak with Senator Smith, and that was a really good conversation. She called and said, the feds are on board. We want to do everything we can to make sure we get the funding where it needs to go to help people get back on their feet. So we're pretty happy with that, and obviously we look forward to that. But I wanted to just remind everybody, I don't know if everyone had heard, we have about $2 million in damage to Hibbing PUC. About $2 million worth of damage, and it's real, and it affects so many families. So something to take a look at. They're continually reworking numbers, seeing what's broke that they didn't know about, and things of that nature. So we did have damage in the 7th district, and we're still here and we're working on it. So all the help from the state and federal level, I had calls from Senator Hochschild, I got calls from Representative Liz Lagarde, Senator Farnsworth. They were all in contact. I know we're in good hands. It's just, again, a reminder, if you can help your neighbors, help your neighbors, and if you need help, ask for help. We'll try and figure things out together. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Hugovich. Your comments the other day, Commissioner Hugovich, when we had the press conference, it isn't very often. First of all, I don't give away compliments. Everybody on this board knows that.
Really?
If you get one, you've earned it. I called him right after that meeting and told him he was a rock star because of his comments about people on the range and how we need people to reach out and help other people. And those comments were so appropriate. Thank you for those, as well as the ones you just did. Anything further from commissioners? I know everybody's been working their tail off. The truth is I would take a few days off, okay? Well, if you can call having 4 grandkids with you on vacation, taking days off, doesn't feel as much like it, to be honest with you. But I truly appreciate it, and I've been available to assist my fellow commissioners, obviously. But we are so fortunate. We are so fortunate to have the people we have working for us in this county. And I would note one of the things I talked to Administrator Gray immediately about after the flood was wells, septic systems. I note that our head of that department is sitting here today because of wells, septic systems. Even though the state is the one that's really in charge of wells, when it comes to the safety of them and the fact that our septic systems are in jeopardy, that role has always fallen to the counties. And we are looking an awful lot like we did 12 years ago in a different part of our county. And my guess at north of 50 million is starting to look more and more real. In fact, I'm probably a ways light as this thing has unfolded. So we've got a lot of work yet to do. All of our departments are working diligently. I want to thank my fellow commissioners for the efforts they've been putting forward, because none of this happens on its own, and all this administration. So don't stop doing what you're doing. I'll give away a few compliments if you earn them. Okay, but don't stop doing what you're doing. With that,
I'm used to the other side.
please, what was that?
I'm used to the other side.
Yeah, well, right. Hey, if I get too nice, people will expect it all the time. Okay, Commissioner Harlow.
I just want to take a moment. We are coming up on the 4th of July holiday, where it's a good time to spend time with family and friends and honor our nation, but I just want to make sure people remain safe as we get into it. So wear sunscreen and make sure that you are making safe decisions.
God, I love that mom part about wearing sunscreen. Okay.
Yeah, that toddler mom.
As you look at my raccoons, I tried wearing sunscreen, but only does so much. Anything further, commissioners? Seeing nothing, I would motion to adjourn the committee of the whole.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Harlow, supported by Commissioner Musa. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. We are now back to our board meeting. I would note that all of the items went through committee unanimously. So we are looking at our entire committee of the whole as a consent agenda, unless commissioners care to pull down items for additional discussion. Moved by Commissioner Boyle, supported by Commissioner McDonald. This is the entire committee of the whole agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. We are now at the end of our board meeting. And I really, it unnerves me when I have my administrator laughing or smiling at my fellow commissioners. Well, there's something wrong.
Mr. Chair, you did everything right today.
Thank you.
With 10 minutes to spare.
Thank you. With that, a motion to adjourn the county board meeting would be in order. And I would urge everyone to go out and enjoy the wonderful city of Chisholm and their different eating establishments. Moved by Commissioner McDonald, supported by Commissioner Yukovich. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.